I think Tobias Harris is my number one on this list. Even when I think about the Paul George signing, and I think Tobias Harris is the worst signing in 76ers history because it was 6 years of Joel Embiid's prime.
Exactly.
You know
I
what
was
I
about to
mean?
say that, man.
And the contract held the team back from signing mid to high level role players. Like the Knicks series that they lost, what DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and OG Anunoby, all
Exactly.
three combined did not make the money that Tobias Harris made that year, and he had 0 points in his game 6.
Bro, Kelly Oubre Jr. was about to be exiled from the NBA. Then Morey signs him to a 1-year deal, and he had a much more significant impact on the Sixers than Tobias, just because he had so much more energy and was a lot less passive.
But yeah, the Tobias Harris contract being what it was, and they couldn't trade him because his value was not even close to that contract. So they sat on him for 6 years, and it sucks that it was honestly 6 years of Joel Embiid's prime where you could have put a stronger supporting cast around him, but you had Tobias Harris that entire time. Number one on this list is Elton Brand, and the first line of this article says, "I hate to do our current general manager like this." I forgot he's still there. How is he the current general manager?
Does he put in the AI prompt?
The structure of this front office doesn't even make sense. He's not the general manager. You never even see his face anywhere. He never goes up. He never goes to a press conference anymore. How's he the general manager?
Bro, the last time we saw Elton Brand was that one picture this offseason where people thought he was having dinner with LeBron, like in Philly, if you remember that. That was it.
I think
it wasn't LeBron. It wasn't LeBron, but
you don't think it was?
That's pretty much. Well, I don't think it actually was. I think it was just
he was the one with the backwards hat that they thought was LeBron.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
People were getting excited, but that's like the all we've seen from Elton Brand. The Sixers make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, this was a bad signing. 5 years, $82 million. But again, they weren't winning it. This was in 2008. You know, they weren't good in 2008. They weren't gonna be good. So these signings, to me, they're not top of the list for me because these signings didn't hold back a generational talent like Joel Embiid. Not even generational, once in a lifetime talent. And that's why I'm putting. I personally put Tobias Harris, I think, number one for me. And I think for me, I'm putting damn. I can't yet put the Paul George thing ahead of Al Horford now that I think about it. But I'm going Tobias Harris, Al Horford, Paul George. Worst signings in NBA in 76ers history.
Yeah, for me, I mean, you did make an excellent point when it came to, I didn't think of it like that we signed Tobias in Joel Embiid's prime. You know what I mean? Like the maximum years that you can get out of him. So yeah, that definitely convinced me a little bit to remain Tobias at number one. But I think for PG and Horford for now, I'll have Paul George being the second worst signing in Sixers history, just because I thought that the Sixers were able to exit the Horford deal in a pretty decent way. Yeah, I had to attach that draft pick, but got Danny Green in return. He still had some juice left in him, and built a really good team the next year, like the first seed in the East. But yeah, I think if the pick falls outside the top 6 and the Thunder get it, I might have to move that Horford one to number 2. But I think with the Paul George deal, just the fact that we waited so long to get this cap space plan, and then we use it on Tobias Harris 2.0.
It's pretty
and now
wild.
We're stuck.
Do you think?
We're stuck.
And Daryl Morey knows we're stuck. He's not stupid. I don't think he knows how to build a winning basketball team because he does everything much too analytically. But he's a smart person, obviously.
Yeah.
He knows they suck. He knows these signings look terrible. He knows the fan base, and he's active on social media. He knows the fan base is pissed off. What do you think he's thinking like about this upcoming season? Do you think he's like, oh shit, we really gotta make a drastic move? Or do you think he's like, fans are stupid, I don't care what they say? Because he seems to have that attitude too, you know what I mean? Fans are idiots. Cookie. They're just angry. They don't know what they're talking about. This is gonna work.
Yeah, Sixers fans are apparently motivated by anger. Like, bro, what else? What have they done to make us happy? Like, did you see the 1 million people at the Eagles parade? Like, it's almost like when your organization is well run and your team wins, your fans are happy. But when your organization is the most pathetic one in all of sports and constantly make decisions a 2-year-old wouldn't make, they get pissed off. Like
shocker. I know, right? Yeah, shocker. Everyone's angry. Yeah, they've been failing and failing and failing and failing and failing.
I mean, if Morey, if he like, I think of it, I compare the Paul George situation to Tobias because they're both really similar players. And I mean, we literally said that Paul George was the Michael Jordan of Tobias Harris's, but literally put them side by side in the year 2025. I think you could give an argument that Tobias Harris is actually better than Paul George, just slightly. And the bar for Paul George wasn't even that high, bro. We just wanted him to be better than Tobias Harris. And you can make an argument that Tobias has been better. And that's just another thing about the Sixers. Just whoever puts on a Sixers uniform just ends up sucking. I mean, that happened to Caleb Martin, who, I mean, like the Caleb Martin signing, I never really I checked it on my phone at work and I was like, all right, cool. I didn't kind of expect that because we already had Kelly Oubre and they were they're kind of similar players, like streaky shooters, athletic and all of that. But if they were like going to move off from Kelly, and I mean, Caleb Martin, he has shown what he could do in the playoffs against the Boston Celtics, like on Christmas Day. Yep. But they didn't move on from Kelly either. And Caleb just had those injury issues. But we got Quentin Grimes now. So at least we got another franchise cornerstone, at least because, I mean, Quentin Grimes, he kind of reminds me of when, you remember when Mikal Bridges got traded from the Suns to Brooklyn and he was averaging like 27 points per game?
Yep.
I think that's kind of like something Grimes is going through right now. He'll probably settle down a little bit if he gets that contract with the Sixers. I hope he does. I hope that's the Sixers' number one priority.
You think he's more realistically a high 15, 20 point per game off the bench kind of guy?
I mean, I think that kind of depends with the Sixers like franchise outlook these next couple of years, because I think Grimes, he can legitimately be a excellent starting player next to Maxey and McCain, just another 3-and-D wing. He's 6'5". I think he's 6'5", but could be a little bigger, but still he's entering his prime, can slide into that small forward position nicely. But it kind of depends on what they do in the NBA draft. I mean, talking about this before the show, but Yaku Chonis out of Illinois, that 6'6" point guard, he's somebody that the Sixers should be looking at, in my opinion, because I think something that the Maxey and McCain could really use is a big, fast point guard, not named Ben Simmons, who can run the floor and pass the ball, be kind of a utility player, because the Sixers, they already have scoring. Maxey, McCain, and Grimes, they are pure bucket getters. And I think filling out the roster with more of those, those utility guys who can, pass and work a pick and roll or whatever, that can really help them out, especially with them blitzing off ball with screens and all of that. So I definitely hope that the Sixers get their pick, at least in like the top 4. They should definitely look at him as someone to be the point guard for the future.